I got into this business. I guess it was because I was in a boys' choir for 8 years of my life. I went to boarding school and became a member of the Dresden Boys' Choir, a boys' choir that has existed for 800 years. They celebrated the 800th anniversary just last year. And so you kind of get to know a lot of the old traditions and the repertoire, and I became a soloist and assistant conductor. And so basically it was a choice between either becoming a soccer player, because that's what we mostly did, or singing, or music. And I didn't really want a singing career. I wanted to do more. I wanted to bring people together. And so I became a conductor, not knowing what I was getting into, because you never know when you become a conductor what it actually means, all the stuff that you need to learn, and also working with people, fundraising, marketing, all these things that you have to do as a music director. But I love every day of it, and I'm looking forward to coming to Portland.
I actually never conceived of a life on the podium. I always loved music. It was always such a big part of my life. But it really wasn't until the point at which I started writing music. I had become a composer in high school and wrote some class projects. I wrote an operetta based on The Wife of Bath's Tale and Bram Stoker's Dracula, and kind of caught the composing bug. And then I continued to write music for my ensembles at Denison University, where I did my undergraduate. And there was one moment where the conductor stopped everyone and asked me, well, Daniel, do you really like what you hear? And I must have hesitated, or I must have flinched, because he immediately said, well, why don't you come up here and try it yourself? So then I very sheepishly got up and stood in front of my friends and my colleagues and started waving my arms, and I knew at that moment that conducting is what I needed to do. It was almost like a lightning bolt had struck me. So it's really something that I didn't predict was going to happen to me, but it's a love and a passion that I've had ever since that particular moment. And it was at that point that I realized that I really wanted to unlock music. I wanted to unlock the score and discover its secrets and hopefully bring those out in performance. So it's really a passion for composing and composers and how music is put together. And then ultimately, I wanted to do that myself, and I thought the best way to make that happen was in the capacity or the role of a conductor.
What inspired me to become a conductor, and the great thing is no conductor has the same path. It's nothing cut and dry. But for me, I was born into a family of musicians. My father was a conductor and music director in Leipzig, where I grew up, of the Gewandhaus Orchestra, and also later of the New York Philharmonic. And so I grew up surrounded by music, especially orchestral music. But also my mother was a singer, and my sister's a singer. My brothers are in the music field. And so growing up around music and singing was a wonderful thing. I look back to it fondly now, singing in the Gewandhaus Children's Chorus, and then later on picking up different kinds of instruments, studying composition. And so being a conductor or becoming a conductor was something that I've seen my father do and didn't think I would want to do myself, because I had such respect for what it took. And it took some time for me to realize, wow, I can't really live without music, number one. And number two, the role of a conductor is really something quite extraordinary, and it filled me with joy when I had the chance of conducting my first opera when I was actually in college at Columbia University. Somebody asked me, oh, would you like to conduct the opera Dido and Aeneas? And I said, well, I don't know how to do that really. And he said, well, okay, just do one rehearsal and we'll find somebody else to do it. And of course, after that rehearsal, I had so much fun that I said, okay, I'll do the production. And from that point on, I had found the joy of being on the podium in front of musicians and exploring the great canon of music, of orchestral music together. And so I love to do it to this day and beyond, and certainly will look forward to doing that with the Portland Symphony Orchestra.